So I'm starting a new project. It's a vision slash vibration keyboard. This is something I've always wanted. Not in this form though. I want to just be able to put my hands on my legs and start typing like a split QWERTY keyboard. But a solution for that is hard. There's several ways you can try it. Like a glove with flexible resistor things that could maybe work. You could have like strings that pull, potentiometers. You could track every finger with an IMU. Anyway, it just means like a lot of wires. The ideal way is like there's nothing, or something's on your wrist, which like Meta has something like that, but I myself don't know how I could get such fine control. But yeah, this is just like a learning project for me. So I got a drawing here, like showing how it would work. This camera, it's more overhead than forward, but you would see your two hands, and then on each side is an accelerometer, which so it can detect like the half that hit the keyboard and then how far away, which that's probably not going to work that well, just because these points are near each other and it'll just assume like, oh, it's in that vague direction. But you combine the vibration impact with the vision, I don't know, that could help. But yeah, so these are the accelerometers. They're the basic 6050. This is a accelerometer and gyro. Pi 2W, which Pi 0. This one may have a problem, so I'm flashing image now. But I remember when I was trying to build this camera here, I couldn't SSH into this thing. The only other Pis I have are 01s and a 4. So I've tried this 02 out, and there's something wrong with it. It's not working. It just won't work. I tried Bookworm and 11. I bought these online. They were like 15 each, but it's like the fourth one I've bought, so it's possible this one in particular is bad. I go into a Raspberry config and then try to connect to the network just as something's wrong, and then yeah. Anyway, what I'll do is use SSH to control it by serial through USB. I think you can do that because this thing will require power from somewhere. I think you could make it battery powered, but there's really no point. Like, it's just gonna sit on my desk. So yeah, it'll just be plugged into a computer, and then you can also program it from there. But this is the V3 camera module. It's wide angle, so that means like it doesn't have to be tall to see both my hands. I already mentioned those are the IMUs, so progress is slow, and I might be a DoorDasher soon. Just nervous about it because I'm not like a people person, and driving my car I'm gonna risk like crashing it or whatever. Like, oh man. But yeah, so I'm distracted. I'm trying to get this thing prototype today, although I only have 5 hours. I gotta like design a stand that holds everything, wire it all up, print it. I'm going for like easiest design where it's like bare minimum plastic, so the print time is faster. I did just realize that this Pi won't be useful if it doesn't have network connection. So I'll steal a USB adapter from another Pi temporarily while I work on this thing. Because once it has all its dependencies and whatnot, like, it doesn't need a network connection anymore. And you can just, well, it still has Bluetooth on it that should work, so Ideally, that's the part that would be keyboard and mouse. Actually, I was thinking about trying to make like a touchpad thing. This is all like beyond my skill right now, so I gotta like learn some things to make it work. But yeah. Yeah, so here's the USB Wi-Fi adapter. This is a OTG cable going into the Pi 02. Yeah, so now there is a WLAN interface, so I can upgrade it and work on it. It can pull down packages and whatnot. Normally, like, work on Pis with a monitor. Usually it's headless through SSH, but this one has like the Wi-Fi problem, so you can't even like ARP scan find it because it doesn't have an address to SSH to. That's why it's plugged into a monitor. I will say too, like, this project, oops, push yes. This whole project is like stupid, like, here's a keyboard. Why do you have to make one? It's like, I'm filming with a camera, why did I make one? That's even worse. I don't know, it's just the process of like figuring something out, imagining, making. That part is fun to me, but I don't know, I think about that with other things, like why make more operating systems, why make RISC-V, which RISC-V is, open source, cheaper, that kind of thing. But still, from my point of view as like a higher level language developer, like Python, JavaScript, or whatever, the thing like running underneath it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, I don't know. Everybody has their reason, their drive, right? Like, I don't think a fancy wooden lamp should cost $3 grand, but some people would buy it for that. That's a real excerpt from a friend of mine that deals with antiques. Someone bought a wooden desk lamp thing for $3 grand. I was like, damn, money is funny. But yeah, so I'll just do this. I'm gonna quickly wire everything up. In the past, I had problems with the I2C bus addressing multiple devices. I ended up just like using one, and then each device was still addressable, but the Pi 02 or Pi 0 in general, I think can do has at least 2 bus channels, but that probably sounds like incorrect the way I'm saying it, but like there's a lot of addresses, same connection, but I'm saying there are 2 connections that you can do, or more. I don't know. I gotta look at a pinout. Alright. Yeah, I just feel stressed out, man. Pressure in the chest. I gotta change my life. I'm trying. I still gotta pursue things though, live life versus just working and paying bills. So here you'll get an idea of how this thing will work. Like, these are the accelerometers. They'll be at an angle like that. I mean, I guess it could be straight too, but yeah, they might as well be straight. I mean, it'd be cool if they're like that. I just don't want to deal with the math of like rotating things. Although that would be a clean like 45 degrees. But yeah, let's just assume they're like that. Here's the camera. Your hands are on here. See, my keyboard is down here. And then the thing that's hard is this table is brown. My skin is brown. So it's like, I don't really know how well this masking is going to work. Masking where you remove like a certain color or range of colors from the scene. Yeah, so the camera will be above, and then what I want to do is, I just naturally rest my fingers, which is not the same as a straight keyboard. My hands are outwards like that. And then, hello, HELLO, like, you would, on the monitor, have a live video feed of your hands, and then the bottom's like green screen, and you have the keys of a custom keyboard. That's the thing too, like if I'm writing code I need that to be able to see the symbols. I mean the 65% here, it has like bracket, square bracket, arrows, slash. Those are like the most common programming symbols you need. So I'll have to have those. I think it's interesting though, like these keyboards are designed straight. I know there's other ones like they're split or curved or whatever, but yeah. I tried to make a keyboard before for a touchscreen and it was so annoying, like arranging the individual keys, which the easiest way for me to do it is through HTML and CSS. I'm not doing it through like a native graphical library like GTK or whatever. But yeah, so that's the plan. And then I feel like it makes sense, right? Like, because the camera can't tell easily that your finger touched the surface, but the vibration detection from the IMUs would do that. And then isolating it by half would also make things easier too than just using one. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and do a better job of documenting the process, like what I'm doing. So I just started a new repo. Well, I had the repo before, and then had to install Git, and then enter all my info here. Like create the Git SSH key on this Pi, put it on my GitHub settings, and then set up like my name and email, which you can see here, like from GitLab how to do. Or it's not GitLab, sorry, Git SCM. But yeah. So after that, I gotta solder these down. Just put like some flux solder. Connect the camera to the Pi, which that can come later, but what I have to figure out is how high up off the ground it needs to be to see my hands. And then I can design like I'll model this and this. Also, well, I already have models of those parts, but that's how and then, you know, knowing that distance and the X distance, that's how you start modeling a physical body. And then the Pi 02 here will have a board, I don't say daughter board, but it's, you know, PCB board with a male header, 40-pin header on it. That will be where it powers the IMUs from the 5-volt here, and then it'll also take in all the TXRX lines for the I2C. And after that, I gotta start programming some things, like, you know, getting these values, which I've already done that before. Not really hard. A lot of libraries for it. What's hard is the vision masking stuff, specifically doing it in real time, like fast enough to do keyboard, and then merging the IMU data, which that's where the like ML training comes in, but right now I don't know how to do that. I mean, I have some idea, like I've watched people train models for like handwriting, but yeah, so I'm gonna get to making this. Yeah, just a quick comment. So this is the pinout Pi 02. The other Pis are similar too, if not the same, but I'm not saying that. But yeah, there's the I2C there. That's one. There's another one here. That's what I'm saying, but each one can have multiple devices attached to it. They'll just show up as different addresses when you scan them. That's serial right there, UART. And the miso soup, that's SPY. So yeah, I'm actually was thinking about it. I think ideally the design is like a stack. The Pi like attaches to the camera, and then This thing is mounted to a swivel, which you can tighten with a screw once you've aligned it. And that just goes above, like, you know, see my fingertips there? I'm not trying to have it like directly over. I want it to be like at an angle. And then the legs of the stand hold the IMU. Z, plural. And then the USB connected to this thing, well, it's really just power, because ideally this thing works as a Bluetooth device. I've had problems with that, so I don't know. But for it to be useful, it has to be like as low latency. Like a lot of my keyboards are 2.4 gigahertz or Bluetooth, so that's what I'm going for. I mean, direct wire would be something, but I'd have to learn how to like make it appear as a PS2 device or whatever for a keyboard. So I don't know. I want to point out, you only need 4 wires for the IMU. The power, VCC, the ground, SCL, and SDA, like clock and data. And you can see here, like, just goes in there. In the library, you specify the address for each one, and then you got your loops running. Then you're like, tap on this side picks up the Z value, acceleration, pulse. So it'd be like, oh, left was tapped, right was tapped. This is like the laziest design I can think of. There's one flat piece, it's like a A shape. The couple holes for screws to go into it to mount the IMUs. They are almost flat except for where the male headers stick out underneath. So you have like a groove and then holes thick enough for screws to go into without affecting the flat base. So it'll probably be like a riser platform, screw surrounding material around the hole for the threads. And then there's like a T-shape insert thing. You pressure insert this. It's not like adhesive or anything. That's like a long extruded T-rod, and it has like this round head where a female thing goes around it. Screw. I think that would work. If not, you pinch it. But anyway, yeah, so this is like a pivot point. A screw would be ideal, you just tighten it. Yeah, so it probably will be the outer clamps like get pinched together to grip it. That's like a standard hinge design. And this has the pie on it and the camera, so that's the thing you swivel to aim down at your hands. So that should be like really simple to make. Installing Pi Camera 2 right now. I'm just running the MJPEG server by Pi Camera 2, so that will allow me to live stream what this wide angle camera is seeing, and then I'll just raise it up until it has a good view of the hands, and then that'll be a good base height to work with for the physical design of the body. Then I will finally get to soldering. Solder that, make the board, attach it, and it'll be design and printing. Probably won't finish it before I have to leave, but I'll finish it today. And then I'll put this project aside for a bit and deal with door dashing. Well, I was trying to measure this distance, but this cat is in the way. Look at him, he just woke up. Look at that. The live stream is extremely slow. I think because of the USB Wi-Fi. Ah! Look at him. Meow. So I got the board soldered on there. I also soldered these on. I'm trying to find a wire right now I need a piece like this long. I've got 6 out of 8. Trying to find like black or brown, something for ground. Yeah, and then I'll wire the IMUs up to this, test that they work. I'll be able to start designing the stand and print that. I want to point out that I've made a lot of mistakes in this hobby. There's like a bunch of burnt Pi Zeros. There's my freaking robot that I hide from my cat so he doesn't eat it. Feels so bad that's hidden in there. That's fine. It works and everything. I just I hide it so he doesn't chew on it. So it's like the worst solder job. Not really terrible, it works, but anytime you gotta like join 2 wires to the same point, that's problematic. It's better to just like extend it and separately solder them. But I did it anyway. One I2C bus here, both IMUs connected to it. These all have like the same wires, wire color. They're not even right, I just don't have wires. The only difference is this blue and yellow here for the data line. Oh god, I had to sneeze. Alright, so God, yeah, I'm struggling today, man. I'm like, I don't want to do this. But yeah, I have individual string tube, but I'm just gonna use hot glue. Feeling lazy. Yeah, so you can see here, I'm looking at a pinout over here. So 2 5-volts, a ground, and the data and clock lines. Go over here. See the cable for the camera? It's the same over there. Cable for the camera. Orientation's right. So then, yeah. Positive 5. That's ground. Across is 3 volts, nothing connected to it. 3.3. That's your data line. And then clock is green. These are just ground. So yeah, I'm gonna put some hot glue on those. Well, yeah, those are fine. Those are clean connections. And then I'll write some code and test each one that they both show up. I wanted to be sure that the wires were long enough, but this is a bit excessive. Because the Pi will be like up there somewhere, and the IMUs are only going to be like that far away. Oh well. Alright, let's see if I can solder. I'm looking at this Adafruit tutorial and why? I don't want to do that. I want to look at the command. What's the command? There's just a freaking single CLI call. Where is it? Oh yeah. Alright, so let's do recipe config. Go up here. Looking at interface. We want I2C. Yes. Okay. Finish. And then where is it? Is that it? ls dev. There's this thing where you like scan the bus. There. That's it. Sudo I2C. I2C detect I2C detect -y1. No! Oh wait, I'm dumb. There's a space here. No! It's probably a SM bus, maybe? No. I2C detect not found. Man, I feel bad today. I don't know why. I'll go back to sleep. This is Bookworm, so I keep having to verify, like, what is the package name? Bookworm I2C tools. Debian source package I2C tools. It looks like it's the same. So, apt install. It's possible this project just fails because I'm not like capable of doing it. Machine learning. But it's a self-limitation, you know? You want something, you do it. I've learned, quitting my .NET job, what happens when you give up? You become poor. Alright, let's try it again. No, there's only one. That's bad. There should be two. I don't know which one it is, too. Alright, I gotta investigate that. There should be two of them showing up, but only one appears. Unless they're both 68, but worst case, I solder to the other I2C bus. Alright, that was my bad. The last time I worked on a multi I2C device, like this project here, the I2C devices were different, like physically different devices, as in like one was a IMU and the other one was a distance sensor. Anyway, the point is they had different addresses hard-coded. This one, the 6050, is 68, so I have two of them, but they're both 68. So there's like ways to fix it, but the easiest way is to just use two separate I2C buses. So hopefully when I scan those, they'll show up. They'll both be 68, but they'll be on separate buses. Ah, man, this is another project that I didn't finish. So good. Look at how like freaking dense it is. All the stuff is in there. Entire thing pan tilts. Camera, two different distance sensors, IMU. Oh my god. Pi 02. Steers a robot wirelessly like through a WebSocket. This is interesting. It says it only has two buses, but you can have three. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, so there's one that has 68, there's two 68, so they're both showing up. I just gotta figure out which one is which. And then I'm doing left and right for the orientation from the human POV. So I don't know if that's like dumb or confusing, but makes sense to me. And I should be able to like tap, 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 like left. Actually, it's like right will probably pick it up too, but I'll just do like a comparison, which one is stronger. Can you read that? Alright, so we're dumping the IMU values. Man, look at that. The one on the left is more accurate than the one on the right. Or could just be... No, it's off. 0.8. Damn. Ooh. Yeah, I think this is right. So left, up, down, down, down. Like you can see it. Holding it still, right? 1. Turn perpendicular 0. Yeah, because the force is orthogonal, or no longer orthogonal, it's parallel. So yeah, this one's definitely the left, which means bus, well, you can see up here in the code, left is bus 0, and then right is bus 1. So 0 appears to be this one, and 1 is the one near the 5-volt rail. Anyway, so that's working. God, these wires, they trigger me, man. They're so long, and they're just like tangled. Ah! But I'm lazy. So, got that. Now I just gotta design the body, assemble it, blah, blah, blah. The camera does work, but the USB adapter Wi-Fi stream is too slow. I'm also concerned, like, this thing takes really big pictures, right? Like 4,000 by 3,000, almost 4 by 4, but and they're super wide. And when you're doing like the real-time masking, it's not gonna be that big. So the issue is like, how far away should it be where my fingers are? But that's not really a problem because you can just print longer or shorter of those T-beams and then just raise it up and down. So that's not hard to change, at least. So I'm slowly working on the design. These are all the main parts modeled. Main concerns are like the dimensions, like length with height, like volumetrically, and then the holes for those screws for mounting it. But I decided that the base where the IMUs are would be 2.5 inches apart. That's just based on this. It's actually pretty big, but yeah. So you see these 2 points here. Your hand is here. Middle of the IMUs, middle of your hand, kinda. And then the angle, I don't know, I didn't want it to be 45 degrees, so it's a little less than that. It's really not like scientific at all. I'm just like making this. But it'll be like a physical platform, and then most of it is code. So, man, this is like the laziest thing I've ever designed. I'm just fighting like, I don't know, sadness. Yeah. So I'm concerned that this thing is not gonna work. It's because it's relying on vibration, right? But the IMUs are away from the floor. Granted, it's a solid piece, you know, so like the vibrations will travel up to the IMU anyway. But I'm using these, where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, yeah, right here. Well, you can see it on the actual IMU. These are like cheap servo screws. They're very long. But the main thing is the head is wide. See there? So it's like larger than the hole on the board. So that's what pushes it down, or grabs it. Yeah. That's an easy thing to print. Attach those, then you have an extruded T-beam thing. The hole at the top. I gotta design like a mount for the Pi that also holds the camera. That gets attached on there. The USB stuff attached to the camera will suck. Not camera. The Pi. That'll weigh it down. So the hinge might have to be really tough to hold that weight. But eventually, other than the USB thing, it should operate off Bluetooth, which is like another thing I gotta deal with. I've got like another hour, 15 minutes before I have to leave. I could print this real quick. Look at that light. The thing I want to say is, fast way to prototype this without figuring out Bluetooth is to use WebSockets. You can make a web interface that receives the data via WebSocket and then display the letter typed. I mean, before all that, you can just do it in terminal, but I was talking about, you know, seeing it on screen. This is a quick sample photo. And man, it has to be high up, like that high, to get a good shot of the hands. And this is a wide angle lens too, so yeah. Damn. That's taller than I thought. So I'll get a measurement of that, and that's how tall the base plus the angled mount has to be, at least. So just thinking about this, initially I was going to make this like changeable, this angle. I also thicken this because I already know like that's too thin. But if it really is like machine learning and everything, like it's going to be trained at a specific angle. So this should not be something you can just change. I mean, people's hands will be different. So I don't know. I mean, if you train it yourself, you know, you could change the angle. I don't know. I'm gonna see. It's not hard to make it dynamic. I'm just wondering, like, does it make sense? Because you could design the angle of the swivel thing to be fixed. So imagine like a piece coming in like that, and it just has this cut, so it matches this perfectly. And it also rests on this ledge. What I'm concerned about with making it swiveling too is that the weight of the pie and the camera is going to be a lot, and your squeezing part will have to hold all that load, which I've designed that before, but yeah, I'm just lazy right now. I don't want to deal with it. So I'll pick an angle, because honestly, like, the physical part is minor compared to the code. The code is going to be where everything is. That's going to be hard. There it is. There's the first test fit. Modified the design of a raised ridge here so it's even stronger. This part has to be thicker too. The screw part is fine. I'll probably thread it first, like run it through without the IMU before mounting. Yeah, it sits like that. I should have had the wires on the inside than outside. Makes the profile smaller. I still can. It just moves the IMU closer inwards. I will though. It's cleaner to do it that way. Back from Plasma Dono. I forgot I had some more of this pad stuff, like for your mouse or keyboard rather. So, and that's black, so that's easy to subtract from your hand. It's just 0, 0, 0. So yeah, the only thing is it's a little long. I'm gonna have to cut it this way. It hurts, but yeah. The thing is, this softer material might be nicer to type on. Trying to come up with a lazy design for this. Yeah, probably screws coming from the back, pulls it. No, that won't work. Well, I'll detach this piece. Yeah, detach that piece, screw from the back forward into the plastic. Let's see. This camera has to be mounted to something too. Like that. trying to figure it out. So it's a rectangle like that. Holes. Let's say we've got these screw cylinders for it to go into. Assume they're connected. 4. Then well, if that's solid, then we can have the the screw clevis thing, or whatever the hell you call these things, that connects to the T shape with the hole. You put the screw in like that. But that's just for this. Somehow the camera has to get attached too. Which I could just have like a stick thing, and then the camera has a square deal too, similar to the clip cam. The clip cam has a lazy square mount too. See it? So like that. I sold the computer that can program that thing. So sad. So yeah, I'll go for something like that. The other print's gonna end soon. I'm trying to print these while I watch a movie. Alright, so here's the design. It's kind of nasty, but there's just like screw hole pegs, solid piece by connecting all 4 things, and it extends. Why do I keep doing it? Silence. It extends this like bar thing. I needed some gap here because like the ribbon cable. And then I took this from the ML clip cam, just this mounting thing. Extended it there, so that's attached. Now that's like that. And then designed a little squeeze hole thing. You put the screw in and tighten it. Comes in, I think, I don't even know where. I think it comes in from this side, which is looser than that side, because it actually like bites into this part to squeeze it together. That just looks sus to me. Like it'll just immediately rotate downwards from there. And this hole here is actually too big, turns out. I forgot my tolerances. So I updated that in the standalone design over there. Yeah, so I'll print this real quick. It's unfortunately gonna have to flip it and rotate it so that this part is supported, but not that. That's a little less material, but arguably the same. And then the reason this thing is so long here is because the actual board extends this piece here, and I could have cut that off, but I didn't. See, it just goes on there. And then yeah, up and down. That single screw is not gonna hold it up, I imagine, but I'm gonna find out. I just realized something. As you're like typing, I imagine the camera's gonna shake. The image that you're like training. Yeah, that's bad. I wonder how that's gonna be. Ah, there it is. It's flimsy, but it works. Hey, what is this? Da, da, da. Yeah, it's so ugly. I wish I had all black wires or something. The black frame looks good though. I'm gonna take it somewhere where it can be viewed with less clutter. So it's here, powered on. See the LEDs are on per IMU. Unfortunately, since the onboard Wi-Fi doesn't work and I'm using this USB thing, it's like top heavy, but after it's like programmed ready to go, you don't have to have that on there. And then what does suck is the USB power. Could be like local battery or something near the base, but I mean that would make sense. And you just charge it, but it's like a power hungry thing because it's a computer. So yeah, at this point it's just programming. Let me get a shot of what it sees. So it sees that, which, you know, I'm not sure how well this is gonna work because the pinkies are barely visible. But yeah, I mean that's where the IMU comes in to detect like hits. Of course, that's only like 2 extra data sets, you know. I was thinking about having like 4. That'd be crazy. And my knuckles look gross. Ew. Yeah, so I don't know.